Alright, should be live. Just close out some of my tabs here. This one we're not doing with Parsec, so we shouldn't have as much lag issues. Though it's been a while since I've streamed off of my PS4, so we'll see if video is able to keep up. But boy, I'm trying to think of last time we did stream PS4. I guess Medieval.
Yeah.
Which would have been a year and a half ago now? Huh. Guess it's not too long ago. Alright, so this is my first time using this new layout with me looking at the TV, so that's going to take a little bit of getting used to, just looking back and forth between web camera and gameplay, but no biggie. Let me shut my door so you don't hear my cat being a hyper. Right. Alright. Top of the new series, so let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. I am Connor, also known as LB, Lightbear, McBlank, Loomis Erstai, Bear of Lightness, Hoozle Floozle, blah blah blah. And I am the one playing the game.
And I'm Gooms. I'm one of the founding members of Designing 4, and I will be co-commentating. Hello?
When did this become a real streamer setup? I'm intimidated. Hey, Lucas. We decide leave for a minute and everything changes. I kind of wanted to shake things up a bit and make it look a little more fancy, so I've done a little bit of production work to have the little template and the webcam and all that stuff going on.
Why did Elon Musk put a Doge on Twitter?
Yeah, I saw that too. I assume it's some joke at our expense.
It's dumb.
Yeah. Maybe it's a only slightly out of season April Fool's joke.
I guess.
We'll see if that changes back in the next couple days. SG says, I know next to nothing about this game. Entirely fair. This is kind of a fun one to just jump into, mostly blind or mostly not in the know. Wild Arms is probably the closest thing Sony has to a proprietary first-party JRPG series. Someone can correct me on that in the comments. This was the first Wild Arms came out in 96-97, right before Final Fantasy VII, so it has some importance, especially in Japan. This was kind of a B-list series insofar as PlayStation RPGs went. In the West, I think it's like D-list at best, but it did manage 5 numbered entries, a remake, and PSP port, and a mobile game at some point, plus a bunch of manga and anime. Also, why are you facing to the left? That's where the TV is. When I'm facing the screen, that's because I'm playing a game off of my computer screen. Right now, I'm facing the TV. Well, let's see how far this stretches. Can we do it like that? Yep. I totally didn't actually test this.
You could just flip the camera feed.
Something like that? Does this look okay? Ow. We'll futz with it. The nice thing is that I've got kind of a portable little webcam, so I can just move it around as needs be. What was I saying?
About how important the series is.
Yeah. Truth be told, it's not a series I'm super familiar. Nice closet. I don't know. What do you want? I put up a poster there or something. You can see part of my Persona 4 wall scroll thingy. I've had that since college. Can believe Connor's a real streamer. He's got a cupboard. Wild Arms. So it's a series that I'm not super familiar with myself. I've played a bit of 1 and a good chunk of 3. I've really liked what I've played of 3. Part of why I want to do this series or do this game on stream is to help me finally finish the game. But also, I think there's lots of really compelling design choices. Excuse me. That they make with this game, very un-RPG decisions that they've made in this RPG that I think are really compelling. On top of just being a very fun setting, the playable cast being very fun themselves, and just really interesting, a really interesting Japanese take on the Wild West genre.
So in other words, you're abusing our chat so that you can clear out your backlog.
A little bit. I mean, by all means, Gooms, if you have, you feel free to. There we go. You feel free to recommend stuff for me to clear out of your backlog too.
Oh, but then I wouldn't be playing.
Your backlog of things that you never expect to realistically play, but maybe you'll LP someday.
Yeah, fair.
So be on the lookout for a Wizardry 4 stream or something. For the love of God, don't make me play Wizardry 4. I love that game, but no.
I don't think you would get farther than the second floor.
Probably not. Wait, this is a PlayStation, not a mod Switch. Yes, I do. We don't do it all the time, but every now and again I break out the PlayStation for this. And at some point with our Banjo Conquer series that we're doing on Wednesdays, I'll be busting out my Xbox for this. So, yay.
Monotone voice. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Every time you say Wild Arms, I hear Weld Arms. Weldar bonus boss.
If only. Time for some nuts and bolts. So, Gooms, you know next to nothing about this series?
I've only known what you've said about it. Other than that, I was vaguely aware that it existed, but I knew nothing besides that it was a title I've heard. I wouldn't have even been able to tell you that it was a Western game.
Oh, okay.
A Western-inspired game.
A Western RPG, so to speak.
Different from WRPG because everything is confusing.
Yes, indeed. Good. I do think, like I said, I think that's perfectly fine and kind of a fun way to just jump into this game. So, I think that's going to be the case for a lot of our audience. So, whoa, cam, chat, replay, background art, borders. Yes, indeed. This is a professional establishment. I learned it from you, Tarv.
Also, I heard recently that, apparently, JRPG is considered an almost offensive term in Japan, which was kind of interesting to hear. Because they were thinking that it's these aren't RPGs that are good enough for you. These are these special JRPGs. And they kind of don't like to be categorized like that. It was just an interesting perspective because in the West we use that term so flippantly.
So honestly, kind of reverently. It's such a lot of it is how video game culture dovetails into anime culture and just that general appreciation for Japanese media. That I don't even think of negative connotations with JRPG. I think, okay, this is an RPG influenced by Japanese aesthetics,
right?
Or Japanese designs.
And a lot of the, um, especially like in the early 2000s, there was a lot of reviewers that would say, "Oh, this is niche because this is a JRPG," and a lot of developers were really trying to work hard to break from that stigma, and that's why you saw so much experimentation with like the Final Fantasy series around that time, is because they wanted to desperately not be categorized as a JRPG. Um, so it's kind of interesting how that use of that term shifted so much design trends, and I don't think it was until like Dark Souls that people started thinking, do we really need to use this term JRPG when Dark Souls has so much more in common with Western sensibilities despite being from Japan?
Mhm.
Oh,
Let's see. Lucas redeemed a compliment for you. Really nice to have you, mate. It's been a while, but always fun to have you on stream chiming in.
I'm still confused on the difference between JRPG and RPG. The only way people have described it to me is it's just an RPG made in Japan, but like, is an RPG made in the UK a UK RPG? Usually they do WRPG because it's Western RPG, but that's kind of it's not the greatest look to conflate all of Western gaming as one thing and then just single out Japan as another thing, even though like most RPGs do come from Japan, but like just in case something comes from China or something, kind of unfortunate that they just don't get a term. But in terms of design sensibilities, there is some differences. The JRPGs tend to focus on individual characters and going through their character arcs and working with those, whereas WRPGs tend to be more about customizing a character and building them how you want to build them. So it's just a different perspective. JRPGs tend to have more rich stories, but WRPGs tend to have more rich side quests and gameplay customization.
Let's see. SG suggests CRPGs as RPGs made in Chad. Boomgardner counteroffers Croatia. I've heard CRPGs in reference to computer RPGs, but I kind of like both of those offers.
It feels like a really dumb difference, to be honest. Oh yeah, I hate the term JRPG and WRPG. I do think that there's merit to I do think that there's merit to talking about the differences in gameplay focuses, but I don't think that singling out the region is the right play. It's just kind of the way we ended up settling on it, unfortunately.
That's fair. Like I think it's very useful to quickly illustrate the difference between Dragon Quest and Baldur's Gate or something like that. But
Yeah.
but you have interplay all the time. You mentioned Dark Souls. Undertale comes to mind as, I know, more of a shmup, but if we're calling it an RPG, it definitely leans more JRPG.
Yeah, it's definitely way more inspired by like Earthbound than it is by like KOTOR or something.
Basically, is it anime girls or ugly castles? Why not both? I just wanted to pop in real quick and say hi before heading to bed. Hope the first stream goes well. Well, thank you, Jared. Glad you could pop in at least. But all right, enough talk. Let's get into it. This isn't a PS2 silly. Originally PS2 game. I think the game audio will be okay once it picks up, but let me know if I need to adjust levels.
there's very few things that get me to say I'm on board to a theme faster than like Western flares and flutes and just like the kind of stuff that you would see in The Good and the Bad and the Ugly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to say too much because you kind of just have to let stuff bring you along with this opening, but.
Although, why is it black screen?
You'll see. Oh, wait. Come on. Ah. Wait. All right,
Like you would think they would do something that's like a map in sepia tone or something.
Okay. Sorry, hold on. Why is it not letting me do? I don't know why it's... Okay, my controller's not playing nicely for some reason. Do I have to... crud crap. I should have really tested this ahead of time.
Yes, you should have.
Okay. Well, Tarvold, you're here. You've done stuff on PS4. Do you need to do something funky to get PS2 games to play nice? Professional stream. Yeah, I know.
Oh, well, have you played this version of it before?
Is it on disc? No, it is not. This is a digital download. I have not played this version yet.
Okay.
Go to settings. Okay. Let's see here. Live isn't on Steam yet. Weird. Give it a month or two. Where am I going? System. HDCP is off. That's normally the barrier. Yeah, maybe I need to turn it on? I mean, I turned it off before because I think it doesn't play nicely with my stream setup.
Try restarting your whole console.
Okay. Suppose on the VOD I will have a... What was the issue exactly anyway? It wasn't responding when I hit the options button, which I would expect it would treat as the start button.
All of the fussiness of a PC with none of the power.
Was it trackpad button? No, trackpad button we saw brought up the... I guess on this side. Brought up the share stuff. No, that's the share button. Well, what did that do? Okay. Well, we'll test in a sec. Okay. Jump right back into this. I'm reading online start button is the middle one. Okay, maybe it is trackpad button. Maybe PS button. No, that returns me back to the home menu. But maybe it is trackpad button. Maybe I am a nerd. Well, there's no maybes about that one. Okay, yep, I'm just dumb. Alright. Thank you, Tarv.
Well, it's significantly better that you're just dumb than it being some technical complication.
For sure. Also, the pad is 2 buttons left and right. Tyrell, don't you have a PS4? Okay. All right. We have a lot of slots to choose from.
Oh, and here I thought you were going to pick 69.
I'm just checking to see. Okay, we have 99 slots to choose from. We have one vote for 82, one vote for 68, one vote for 70. I sort of like how arbitrary 82 is. Like, that's not even the hell number. That's just 96, the bold 69. No, 96 is just, they're not feeling it that night.
Yeah. That's two people in a relationship that they don't want to be in anymore, but they stick together because of the kids.
But it's true. Just trying to hog the plague. Okay, well, obviously this is the one we have to go with. Oh, right. This is one of those where... Let us select a new game. We will remember a choice later. I'm used to having to look at the screen. That's gonna... Well, whatever. Alright, so... There is no voice acting in this game. Text boxes will appear automatically, so I'm just going to read stuff for this opening for now. It was a dark and stormy night. We can do divvy up voices a bit later, but... Just...
The Kremlins kidnapped Diddy Kong and stuck him in a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
And then DK's banana horde was gone. That's for from the manual, for those of you that don't get the joke.
DK's banana horde was lost to the Great Train Robbery. It all began on a light and sunny day.
Where kids like you should be burning in hell?
I guess. Oh. Attention all passengers, we are currently decelerating from our normal speed. Please remain seated for your safety. Ouch! I'm terribly sorry. Are you alright? I was in a rush and...
I'll read him.
Can you tell me what's going on?
I'm not sure. I'm making the rounds to see what I can find out. Until then, please return to your cabin and remain seated.
Psych!
Hey.
Thanks for the tip!
You can't go through there or something?
Yeah, it slows down to normal button presses after this scene. It's just cinematic to start out.
Yeah. Miss, please, this car is off limits.
That's because there's something important in there, right?
No, because you couldn't fall off. But that is correct, and that is precisely why the reason why that is
then
off limits.
If something
to
were to
passengers.
happen, there's a good possibility it might happen in there, right? I mean, look. Consider this flight request to make one of them southern. I'll try.
No, this can't be happening. That's impossible. The fact of the matter is I have the key to the car in my hand, see?
Well, if it's true that you have the key, then it's also true that the door is already open. I say we take a look inside. We might find more of them right behind it, if you know.
No, all of them? I'll do it. Thank goodness. Everything seems to be in order, but let me check the crate just in case.
All the windows are boarded up. You sure are taking precautions. What exactly is in there, anyway? Wow, what are all these LUTs? Select your character. Alright, so this is the main gimmick of the Wild Arms series. At the very start of every game, you get the option to play through prologues of each individual party member. And we can actually choose them in any order. We can start with girl. They have a recommended order with difficulty there, but we can be girl in first class, a suspicious intruder, a drifter guardsman, boy who broke in.
So these. This is an RPG, so I'm curious. Does this affect like leveling the order you do in any way?
Nah. Now, you play each. So each character has their own separate playable prologue.
Okay, so they're all they. So it's like live rules where they all have different EXP.
Yes.
Okay.
A suspicious intruder, another suspicious intruder, a third suspicious intruder. Also, we are given titles of each of these characters because, true to form for PS1 RPGs, we name each of these guys. They do have canonical names, but we can choose to stick with them or not if we want.
We got 2 votes for girl. Like, that's the easiest one, so I mean, it makes sense.
She's good to start with, so we'll start with girl in first class. Difficulty, star. By default, her name is Virginia. Virginia
like
Maxwell.
that name. That's a very Americana name.
We can stick with that, or we can shake that up if people want. That's a state. It is also a name. West Virginia. Sort of like West Virginia. Left Virginia. Call her that's a state.
There is enough room for a state.
No.
I'm all for that. Just A space capital as state.
Let me see. Can I reset? Oh, I think when it resets it. Tarvold suggests girl. Girl first C. So that would fit. Reset. Do a period after A. So first initial A, middle name state, last name Maxwell, I guess.
Yes. Alexandria State.
Well, or maybe Alabama State? A State Penitentiary.
Arkansas State.
Arkansas State, that's it.
Arkansas.
I cannot do an Ozark accent, but we will see what we can accomplish. Indiana Jones is quaking. 2 weeks before the fateful encounter. I've stayed your playthrough forever. A State Maxwell, age 18. Her life in the village where she lived had always been graced with peace and tranquility. That all changed by the day the village was invaded by demi-humans from a neighboring settlement. Her life as she knew it ended that day. Before you get too worried, there are actual goblins in this world. That's what they're talking about. However, this was also the start of her journey. Alright, now we can take this
Yeah,
at our own
you've
pace.
taken everything we have. I ask that you leave here at once and leave us in peace.
Uncle Tesla! A state save to the 96th slot. What an opener.
Tough words from loser. Me teach you lesson. Might is right, so you are wrong, and me am right. Me am right, so me am cool. Gob gob. Gob gob. Me am strong, so always hungry. So me come here for food, so that is rule. And me am cool. Gob gob.
I think cool might be a bit anachronous.
Gob gob, you are uncool, so you feed me and buddies. That is new rule that me decide. Gob gob.
Feed you? We can't afford to do that, we'd all.
Headbutt.
Goddamn, tastes good. We can get full quickly. You have no food, then eat some of that. Gob gob.
Brown outfit, green outfit, a state girl outfit! So Arkansas State is blue uniforms, I guess.
I'm alright, don't worry about me. Everyone is safe, and that's all that matters. A-State? Where's A-State?
Gob's hideout. Yikes. Rusty hinges. Great. Now they'll probably know I'm here. But... there's no turning back now. I've got to push ahead and prove myself. It's time to fly. Count the belts. She's got, like... I think she has 4 belts. 3 or 4. Alright, so first things first, there is a timer counting down, or counting up. Don't worry about that. Second, we are right into it.
Ominous.
I think it's just the game timer just always shows it to you for some reason.
Huh.
So we can run around. We adjust the camera by degrees.
Okay.
You can wander around. You also have a dash move if you hold X.
And these aren't randomly generated areas, are they?
They are not.
Okay.
I don't know if this was asked already, but why 3? 3 is the one that really jumped out to me looking into the series. It's the first one on PS2, 1 and 2 are on PS1. 1 is regarded as a classic. I played a little bit of it, and it's pretty good. Interesting in that pre-Final Fantasy VII space, but 2, I understand, has a good story if you can understand it through the weird translation, but 3 is just cool. Here we go!
Okay. So it's a very Super Mario RPG style menu selection.
A bit. Though characters, these goblins' faces look like geometry homework, or geography homework. Let's see, only pay available for Power Priest. Okay, I forget what each of these do. Okay, so we can set auto battle. This feels extremely lunar. Wouldn't surprise me. We can set controls there, but this is getting into the fights. So every character's default weapon is going to be a gun. You can shield, which is actually useful because that you also reload when you shield. You have items here. We start out with 10 heal berries and 10 Gimmel coins. More on what those are later. We have force abilities, which use our FP. Those are interesting. We'll look at those in a bit. Mediums we won't run into until a bit later. We'll go ahead and pick on this guy. Critical hit right away. Nice. Now, you notice that we've now gained FP, force points. That's because FP is kind of like building meter in a fighting game.
Or like limit breaks?
Yes.
Okay.
So, the main thing of it is, as you build FP, you gain the ability to use your force abilities. Each character has their own set of force abilities. Some are shared, but the grand majority are unique to each character. But the catch is that FP, when using a force ability, will not cost force points. So after a certain point, you can use, you just gain the ability to use your force abilities. I believe there's a separate magic system later on that will drain your force points, but for someone like Arkansas, she'll, I don't know, give her some dignity. Someone like Arkansas, she'll be able to, she'll always be able to fall back on her Mystic and Gatling abilities once we unlock those.
Gotta go now. Sorry, haven't been around recently, but life got really busy. Glad to check up on you. No problem. Glad you could join us for however long you wanted to stay.
For sure. Thanks for tuning in, Lucas.
Yep. But no, that's interesting. It's like it has sort of the like building up to the climax kind of thing until you can do your ultimate attacks after building it all up, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. As well, I must dive back into my theater rhythm addiction. Have a good stream, fellas. Well, thanks for tuning in, Tarv.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what it's like to actually fight. Only the strong survive. The law of the wasteland. All that shooting must have alerted the others. I can't just stand around like this. I have to stop shaking. Control yourself. Stay strong. I'm gonna have to fly on my own. Sometimes an exclamation point will suddenly appear over your head. This indicates an enemy is approaching. Quickly press the circle button to avoid an encounter with the enemy. Whenever you avoid an encounter, the difference between your migrant level and that of your enemy is subtracted from your encounter gauge. Should your migrant level exceed that of the enemy, you can avoid the encounter without affecting your encounter gauge. Also, your encounter gauge will regain 1 point after winning each battle. You can always engage in battle by simply pressing the circle button twice or simply waiting for it to begin.
Metal Gear Solid?
A little bit, but basically this is a way of selectively choosing your random encounters. So you'll see that by the encounter gauge is on the top left there. I think I've got a migrant number of 1, and it looks like I've got a max encounter number of 10. By dodging that fight, which was probably 2 more gobs, that went my total encounter level went down to 8. So if we go by that logic, if I ever am in a situation, or if I keep doing that and I'm down to 2 encounter points, I think, then I would have to do that fight no matter what. And
it refreshes if you have an encounter with anything?
Yep, it increases by 1. So
okay.
Not all the way, but it's a way of the game makes you manage your encounters, but also doesn't force you to take every random encounter.
I think that's an interesting way of doing it. It's like, I like that it has strategy in it, because what like Earthbound or like the Mario RPGs do is they turn it into like an action game, trying to avoid the enemies. But this is an interesting way to make it still have that strategic element to it, but not just be annoying random battles that are typical in so many RPGs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the migrant system was introduced in 2. 3 obviously uses it. I don't know if 4 and 5 use it because 4 switches a lot of the mechanics up. But I do know that the remake to 1 backports it, so they get a lot of use out of that.
Mm-hmm.
A device is keeping the door shut. Occasionally you'll need to operate devices or use tools to get past certain traps and obstacles. If you can't make any progress, check the area thoroughly for conspicuous objects. Also keep in mind that some areas become accessible only after you acquire certain tools. So
the only thing, though, is that if there's an enemy in your way, how do you know that it's not blocking something?
So this is specifically for the random encounters that you run into.
Right, but so the encounter gauge, they're still random encounters, or are they specific things on the map?
No, those are the encounter gauge applies to the excuse me, sorry. Applies to the random encounters.
Right, but you said you could like pick whether or not you want to engage with someone.
Yes, I dodged that specific random encounter, but because I didn't do anything there, now I still run into this random encounter.
Okay. So I guess I'm not really seeing if there is an element of strategy to it, because if it's random, then and you can't see what the enemy is before you battle, I don't know if there'd be like a choice of if you want to face this enemy versus that enemy or whatever.
It's a little bit of a gamble that you're making. Think of it more in terms of resource management. So we kind of have an example right here with the excuse me, sorry. I'm trying to remind myself how some of these mechanics work. The vitality meter there. We saw in the fight right here, I just lost 20 hit points fighting these gobs. But because I had juice in my vitality meter, that restored me back up to full. Looks like after the next fight, I'll probably burn through the remainder of my vitality meter, at which point I'll have to start finding other means to restore my health. So in that sense, I'm having to worry about, does it make sense to engage with this fight, or do I want to try to string out my vitality for a bit yet? Condition green. Yeah, I forget what that means as well. I think that just means that I don't have any statuses.
So basically the encounter gauge is just like, it lets you avoid like 5 encounters in a row if you want to.
I think,
and then you have to start fighting again.
Yeah, I think you can build up your encounter meter as the game goes on, so that's part of it as well. But,
okay.
I'm just poking around. All right.
Also, I appreciate the low health, and then making each battle matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can recover it almost to full with the vitality meter, because that's very much like Live a Live, how every battle actually matters in that game, which is one of the things I love most about that game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little different because, like you said, the vitality meter runs out, but it still feels like the HP matters in every battle, which is very important for a engaging battle system, I think.
Agreed. So obviously we can't go through that door, so we'll just go in here instead. Let's see.
Sorry, I keep pausing to.
Oh,
comment
no,
on
no, no.
things,
You're
but
fine.
With RPGs, there's a lot of mechanics to discuss, so
Oh, I kind of want that thing. Rip me, I guess.
no tomatoes for you.
Oh, I can't mess with barrels. Don't be silly.
Could you maybe leave and come back and...
Probably. Tinder crest acquired. Press the square button to fling this highly flammable crest graph straight ahead. The tinder crest can also be used to light candles and torches. Alright, so we have our first tool. And as it says, we basically fling a fire card that is on fire forward.
Okay.
Only one of the two torches is lit. Something doesn't seem right. So, a little obvious, but the game lets you figure stuff out as you go on. There you go. Now let's see. Ah, good. But when can you throw cards that aren't on fire? Ah, damn it. I
You did
again.
exactly the same thing.
Alright, hold on. Eventually I'll learn. Aha! Revive fruit acquired. Oh, definitely want that. Okay.
Those flaming cards remind me of Mystical Ninja starring Goemon with the flaming Rio.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Let's see. To those who come and go catches your eye. Would you like to read it? Sure. Just like birds of passage, drifters do not follow a set path. It is a trackless path they wander. Their path is only complete once they reach their destination. Their willpower leads them onward and gives them the strength to fly. However, willpower is ephemeral and will not last. Wings may break or tire during travel. This is true for all drifters as well. Should you ever embark as a drifter, I highly recommend you rest your wings before your relentless will gets the best of you. To those who come and go, never lose sight of your destination, and I wish you Godspeed.
Willpower is ephemeral.
Birds of Passage catches your eye. As its verdure recedes, our world, Filgaia, is slowly but steadily swallowed up by wasteland. Long ago, the forces of this world battled furiously with those of another. The scars left behind formed the beginnings of the great barren lands. Despite the danger, brave souls trek through these deserts in search of adventure. They are called drifters. Like birds in the sky, these nomads are constantly on the move. They honor Alan Smithy, the director, as the first drifter, and wander tirelessly from land to land.
Well, I really didn't realize his name was a pun on ephemeral until you said it out loud. Yep. Also, it's just a 1800 sounding name.
Yeah. Not sure why those guys are bunched up. So I think there's a little bit of the Chrono Trigger positioning system going on here, where as the characters wander around and get closer to one another, that impacts the attacks that they'll some attack effectiveness. Now that plays no effect for your party because you all have guns, but I think that impacts some of the enemy's abilities.
Huh.
Just popping a cough drop. Also, you've seen it a couple times now, but when the when you see the screen kind of expand into 4 and then 9, that's the sign that you're doing a critical hit.
Gotcha.
Okay, we're now out of vitality points for Arkansas, but she's at least level 2 now. Also, we got a Gimmel coin. The game will have a proper introduction on Gimel coins in a little bit here, so I'll hold off on explaining those for now. Did it say cancelable for a moment there? Yes, I think you can actually, in certain circumstances, you can actually cancel your attack after you've chosen to do it. Alright, so that won't burn it down. Let's see. Whoops. You must step lightly when crossing the rickety floor panels. Press the directional buttons or left analog stick while holding down the circle button to tiptoe. We'll just do the old sneaky sneak.
What's over there?
What do you mean, over by the bed or by the door?
The bottom right. Oh, is that a bed?
Yep, that's a bed, and that's a bed.
Okay. Gotcha.
Excuse me, sorry. There was a chest in the previous room, couldn't grab it. Yep. Doesn't look like we can go up there, so we'll just go into this room. Sorry, a bit of a tickle in my throat tonight. Sorry. The device is keeping the door shut. Come back for that. What do we have here? Excuse me. By obtaining dimly glowing life shards, known as gems, you can replenish depleted gauges. Orange gems replenish the vitality gauge, Vite. White gems replenish the encounter gauge, which governs how many encounters you can avoid. Each gem affects the gauges of all party members. There we go.
Okay, so I didn't realize there was stuff that can heal the encounter gauge, which is interesting.
I'd forgotten that myself. Open that door up real quick. Healberry acquired. Nice. Sorry. Heal berries, as we saw, can heal up to 300 hit points, so best to save those for now. Oop. And yeah, we'll just charge these guys. No, you go! No, you go! No, you go! I've never seen that. That's great. Alright. Since we saw that force level up, let's take a look at her ability here, Mystic. Apply the effects of an item. So that's a little ambiguous, but what it actually means is it applies the effects of the item to all party members. So one of the strategies with Arkansas is, if I remember correctly, is item management, where so if we had other party members with us, we could apply the effects of a single heal berry to all party members.
And does that use one of the heal berries?
It does use one of the heal berries, but it does not use force points, so you can actually just keep cycling through that. But it specifically uses one heal berry, not 4 heal berries, or however many party members you have.
So you can either use an item immediately, or you can wait a little bit in the battle, and then you get the effects on your whole party.
Exactly.
Basically. That's really cool. I like that.
There we go. Just to show it off, so we'll go ahead and select the heal command, or the guard command rather. By default, that reloads her ammo. Each character's weapon has a different amount of ammo, which you can see on the screen here. We see that Arkansas's dual revolvers. It's a little confusing because she is dual wielding, but you get 5 shots with each, basically. So she shoots with both 5 times.
Okay.
Before you have to reload.
So the fact that she has 2 guns doesn't affect anything gameplay-wise?
It does not, but there is actual lore justification that for her dual wielding. It's not... I mean, it's mostly there because it's cool, but there is the explanation that, no, she specifically trained herself to be able to dual wield.
I mean, if you're going to dual wield anything, guns is a good choice for that.
Mm-hmm. You'll note that they are technically 2 different revolvers as well. I believe one of them is smaller than the other. I know for swords, that's the proper way to dual wield. I don't know how that works for guns, but...
Well, with guns, it's just like you're getting twice the shots.
Mm-hmm.
So. And like the reason why it's such a dual wielding isn't really recommended with swords is because, like, why aren't you just putting all of your force behind one sword? But
sure.
With guns, it doesn't really matter.
What does force level up mean? Remind me in the next fight, and I'll explain that. It has to do with the force point system. Whatley & Co.'s prospectus catches your eye. Would you like to read it? Here at Whatley & Co., we began as a caravan specializing in grain. Today, our business has expanded to include everything from daily commodities to arms. We strive to aggressively promote our line of fine products in order to increase total sales. This fiscal term, we have high expectations for our gross revenue, thanks to our timely acquisition of new market routes for fine arts and crafts. We at Whatley are also committed to the promotion of archaeological discovery by exhibiting objects of cultural value, such as a statue we call Stone Wolf. So, one thing to note there, arms in the Wild Arms series, each game has, arms mean something different in each game. It's a little like in Fire Emblem, how the titular Fire Emblem is a different thing in each game. That the same is also true for the arms of Wild Arms. But in this game, they're just talking about guns.
Gotcha. And it's also like how every fantasy is different and is the final one.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so we've seen that Arkansas has gotten... she's taken between her attack and a couple hits, she's now at 21 force points. When she rolls over to 25, she will gain a new level of her force points. I forget what exactly that represents. I know that comes up a bit later into the game. I think that plays into her Gatling ability. But it mostly just means that you've passed a 25% threshold to her level of force points. See. Okay. I think that's all we wanted in here. Oh, good. Alright, this will restore our vitality meter then. Alright, cool. We'll take that in a sec. Her shoes give me a Kingdom Hearts feel. Ah, it's fair.
Man, who knew there were so many of the biblical gob?
I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like there's something important here. Better keep a sharp eye out. Press the X button while holding down the R2 button to pinpoint important objects in sight. If an area contains multiple important objects, press the X button while holding the R2 button, or pressing the X button while holding R2 will toggle between them.
This was very much the Navi is going to revolutionize the world, NC targeting is going to revolutionize the world kind of mentality, I see.
Little bit, yeah. She has Witcher sense. Let's double back here real quick. Okay, this gets us past that broken ceiling beam we saw before. And we get a mini carrot. I forget what mini carrots do. Charges FP gauge 1 level consumable. Oh, okay. So this would boost our, this would give us 25 force points. Or, if we use this in conjunction with Arkansas's Mystic ability, that would give all party members 25 force points. Alright, so we have to determine what in here is special. That's not it. Come on, don't be a dummy. There. Screw it. You guys know. It's this thing. To turn the wheel, use the X button and the directional button, or the left analog stick together. Face the wheel and press the X button to grasp it. Then hold down the X button and rotate the left analog stick to turn the wheel in the desired direction.
Firmly grasp it!
I am so glad everyone had the same idea. Easy. Hey, it's all the valuables they stole from us. So this is where they stashed everything. Received 400 Gela, money in this game. Another heal berry. Alright. Duplicator acquired. Duplicator allows you to open magically sealed doors and treasure chests. Each duplicator will disappear after use. Huh? What's this? An old scrap of paper lies at the bottom of the chest where you found the duplicator. Duplicators are just dungeon keys. I don't know why they're called duplicators.
Huh.
This photo that speaks of days gone by shows her father dressed in a white lab coat. Her uncle once told her that her father was a scientist, but that's a side of him Arkansas State has never known.
A-State, you like shooting arms?
I like shooting with you, Daddy. You think I can shoot 2 arms at once like you?
2 at once. That's gonna take some practice.
Okay, I'll practice real hard. So teach me, okay, Daddy? Promise? There's your explanation.
Her dad calls her by her full name. Weird. No, her last name is Williams.
Maxwell.
Maxwell. Yeah. Virginia Maxwell is the canon name. But we're still Maxwell, so that's just her first name, A-State.
I think we're going by first name Arkansas, middle name State, last name Maxwell.
Or maybe it's like with the 2 first names, like a Marianne or something.
Oh yeah, that is kind of a southern western thing.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I really thought that was her canon name now.
Oh, no.
No, it's Virginia Maxwell, and chat thought it would be funny to name her A-State because her name is Virginia.
Her name is Estate. A photo of Daddy. I thought I destroyed all his pictures after Mom died, since they only brought back painful memories.
Wasn't oh, you were saying get rid of the eye. I didn't see that.
This is no time to dwell on the past. I have to do what I can for the people who need me today. You're on your own in the wasteland. Got right half. And that's the only half, clearly. Also, we got
Not
a
the
Gimmel
wrong
coin.
half.
Gimmel coins let you save the game anywhere you please. They also allow you to start a battle over from the beginning if you're ever defeated. Gimmel coins are hard to
Okay.
come by, but are very handy for managing your playing time effectively. The ideal time to use a Gimmel coin is when you find one in a treasure chest. So, that is another one of the big gimmicks.
Yeah, that is cool. That's almost like a Resident Evil. s-
Like the typewriters.
Typewriter spool.
Mhm.
I was thinking of the word. But yeah, it's like one of those. So interesting that you need to manage that a little bit. I like that.
So there are some places that have dedicated save points. Some of the towns do. We'll see that in one of the other characters' prologues. But Gimmel coins like it said, it acts as both your save points, but also as a one-up if you screw up a battle.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go ahead and take the advice to burn. Oh, this was a mistake. We'll go ahead and take the advice to burn one of these now. There we go. Ooh, right. Okay, yeah, we will continue playing for now. Well, that's 198 save slots. Yeah, they really want to give you options to save this sucker. I think that's consistent with 1 as well.
Well, it's the same thing that they do in Resident Evil, where you can since there's so many save states, you can load back to a previous save state in case you put yourself in an unwinnable situation.
Mhm.
So the idea is that you start with 1 and then you go to 2 and then you cycle through them as you go on, and then just in case you, for whatever reason, want to go back to any of the previous ones that are available. Also, that would be really nice if I... that's really nice for any one that wants to gather footage, because you suddenly have all of these save spots. So if you were ever able to go through the game, you could instantly go back to any particular part of the game you wanted.
For sure. Alright, so we'll just step on out here. Is this? Sealed by magic! Use a duplicator to open magically sealed doors and treasure chests. Oh, okay. Easy. You're the one who stole all our valuables. You're the one who brought so much grief to everyone. What is screensaver here? I'm picturing the Wild Arms 3 logo bouncing around the screen at various angles. I actually don't know. I haven't experimented with that. Ooh, maybe I should have healed. Oh well.
Well, you saved regardless, so
That is true.
this is probably why they recommended that.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and burn one of my heal berries. 300 hit points, but go. Let's see. Okay. Mystic won't be of any use here because it's just us.
Yep.
I think Virginia is your speed character, so she tends to get lots of crits. He's still on his feet? What now? Can't back down now. Come on, focus. Stop shaking. Your wings are strong.
Wow, the Heelberry has some impressive lighting effects for a fruit. Yeah.
You gotta fly! Ah! Expend FP to perform Gatling, a special technique that can turn the tide of battle. The character will perform a string of consecutive attacks, which vary according to the amount of FP consumed. Well, that's how it works. Okay. Alright, so... Oh, I should reload first, but you can use Gatling to expend your entire clip, or whatever.
I appreciate that reloading is part of the gameplay too, though.
Yes,
Fun.
And that it's integrated with defending, giving that poor lonely defend command a purpose.
Yeah, defend tends to be very underutilized in RPGs. Like, the best you normally see is, well, here's the enemy that's going to build up on a big attack. I wonder what you should do.
Yep. Alright, we'll go ahead and use Gatling. There we go. And he explodes, why not?
Oceanberry.
Nice. We even got to level 3.
Just carrying around a ton of gunpowder.
I guess. They're still coming. So many. I don't think I can do this on my own. Uncle Tesla, Aunt Schulte, everyone. Daddy.
Everyone in here, hurry! Oh. Rude.
Yeah, that was super kind of shocking to me first time through. It was like, oh, okay. Come in.
Did you rest well? How are you feeling?
Much better, thank you. I'm sorry to worry you. I must have caused you so much trouble.
Oh, don't worry about it. You know, everyone's waiting downstairs. They all want to thank you for bringing back all our things.
Uncle Tesla, Aunt Schulte, there's something I need to talk to you about. I want to become a drifter. My father disappeared into the wasteland, but one thing he taught me was the ability to handle arms. If there's anybody out there in the vast wasteland needing my help, I want to have wings so that I can fly right to them. I know it sounds arrogant, and it might even be a mistake on my part. Even during this last incident, I wanted to help everyone, but in the end I was the one who needed help. But even so, I can't turn away from this desire of wanting to help people. When something sad happens, its memories engraved into the heart. Nobody wants to have sad memories, even I know that. So, if my arm is able to help even one person out of trouble...
Dear... You've given this plenty of thought, haven't you? Unlike land, the open sky has no roads for you to follow. There's no one out there to guide you. You must find your own destination and fly there with your strength alone. That's what it means to be a drifter in the wasteland. If you desire to help people, always make that your destination and fly as far as your wings will take you. If you're ever too tired to fly against the wind, you'll always be welcome here. Besides, you are family and we are proud of you. I'm sure everyone feels the same as well.
Uncle Tesla, Aunt Schulte, thank you. And, I'm sorry.
I've always believed that anyone who can say they're sorry from the bottom of their heart is both strong and brave. I guess with such a strong heart, you deserve my blessing as well. But I think you should tell someone else, too. Go tell your mother in heaven about your decision.
Mom used to love these flowers. I see them placed here sometimes, but who could be doing it? The young girl heads to her mother's grave to bid farewell to her childhood. Her expertise in arms, taught by her father, bolsters her resolve. That is all she needed. That is all. Her dreams of seeing the world have become her strength and lifts her wings. But the path to the future is often a winding one. It tires some and leads many astray. Arms alone cannot overcome adversity, nor are they the only source of strength. The moment the young girl realizes this, she will truly become a drifter. All right, one down.
Okay.
We will continue playing for now. All right, now we need to pick our next character. So when do you get to play as Springman? No. We see here the game recommends Boy Who Broke In, but there's also a Drifter Guardsman and a Suspicious Intruder. Both Boy Who Broke In and a Suspicious Intruder are 2-star difficulty, so it probably works either way around.
Should we do the illusion of free choice and do the other 2 difficulty one that it didn't suggest?
Gallows suggests doing a Drifter Guardsman.
Mm-hmm. A suspicious intruder.
Let's see. SG, any preference? Suspicious Intruder sounds more interesting than the boy.
I would agree.
Alright, so we will go for a Suspicious Intruder. His name by default is Gallows Carradine, which is fucking metal.
I love that name.
But we can change it if you guys want.
Like,
should have been Gallows humor. I like that.
You can't fit Undertaker.
Well, no room for guillotine. Well, okay, so
You take her. Just do that with a theme for all of these.
Okay. Guillotine would rhyme too. Guillotine Carradine. That's kind of fun. Guillotine. Oh, that. Do we have enough space for that?
You do if you don't have spaces.
Yeah, let's see. Whoop, not 5. Jeez Louise. All right.
I like that. G-O-teen.
I will probably refer...
George Owen Teen.
There you go. There you go. I will probably go with guillotine, but yeah, I like that. All right, into it. 5 days before the fateful encounter. Guillotine Carradine, age 24. He has turned his back on his lineage and destiny, and recently took to the wasteland as a drifter. Yearning to escape his fate, he harnesses his inherent strength so that he may live freely. However, he has yet to realize the true meaning of his actions. Little does he know that it is his very lineage and destiny that gives him such strength.
So I think you should do all of the main characters and I'll do everyone else.
I'm alright with that. I'll be darned if that's true. The sacred...
Oh, no, you do this too. The narration.
Okay. The sacred artifact of Bhaskar, known as the Arc Scepter, will be delivered via transcontinental train to Bhaskar Colony. This artifact is said to be capable of communicating with the powers that sustain the world. The transport of such a priceless artifact is sure to generate curiosity, especially among train robbers, as... The sacred artifact of Bhaskar, the Arc Scepter, and it's on a train? Then...
Oh, this is all real text, no lorem ipsum.
What the heck is this Arc Scepter that I'm holding now? Oh, man. Three months earlier. Flashback within a flashback, if you will.
Meta. Are you really going, brother?
Heck yeah. Those of priestly lineage must enter the priesthood, right? Well, not me. Why the heck do I have to follow some stale old tradition? I'm gonna live freely. No one's gonna tell me what to do.
Well, you don't have to take the sacred artifact of Bhaskar with you.
The sacred artifact, Arc Scepter. It enables us to control and communicate with the powers that sustain the world. That's pretty darn amazing. If I could make use of that thing, then I'll have nothing to fear in the wasteland. But even if things don't work out, I can always sell it and live off the money for a while. What's even greater would be to see Granny's jaw drop!
I do not understand you at all. But I do accept your decision. However, I will neither help you nor intervene in your affair.
That's my kid brother. Just the answer I wanted to hear. You take after me. You're so quick-witted. By the way, where's that slow-witted granny of ours?
I have not seen her since this morning. Perhaps she's at the altar, or...
Don't tell me the Southern Sanctuary! Oh, man. Talk about bad timing, just when I was about to head off there. That good-for-nothing granny!
That's not a nice thing to say. Anyway, your decision still stands?
Of course!
Shall I augur your future with my dream sight, brother? You would like to know, wouldn't you?
Nah, no thanks. It's almost guaranteed that my future will be bright. It'd spoil all the fun if I knew how good it was gonna be.
Brother!
It's not like I'll never see you again. Relax. I'll be back with stories about what I see and experience on Filgaia, so wipe that frown off of your face.
Okay. Please take care.
Alright, so first things first, this little weird mariachi robot here is actually our save point.
Okay.
So when you don't use Gimel coins, you look for these weird mariachi robot guys. I'm sure they're not actually mariachi, just what comes to mind.
Yeah.
So obviously the Beskar are this game's stand-in for Native American people. I think this is probably one of the best interpretations I've seen. So I've seen of Native Americans done in a video game. Admittedly, I don't play a whole lot of games featuring Native Americans, but I like how, by and large, this is clearly not just the generic. This is not just kind of the broadly stereotypical Native peoples that you see in a lot of Western fiction. There's a little bit of just broad strokes of iconography, but this is also very clearly the Beskar are also very clearly a Pueblo people. I believe they're largely influenced by the Hopi, just by a lot of their architecture and stuff. And I'm no expert on Native American peoples or traditions or anything like that. I know stuff like these totem poles. These aren't even totem poles. I'm trying to think of what all I know. I know if you see totem poles, those are largely an Algonquin, an element of Algonquin culture, so Pacific Northwest, Alberta, that sort of area. A lot of the feather headdresses tend to be for more Great Plains peoples, that sort of thing. So a lot of the iconography you tend to see are just a mishmash of different First Nations peoples amalgamized. But from what I see in my, again, admittedly limited experience with Native American studies, this is fairly true to a very specific people, which I think is very commendable.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that because, there's more recognized tribes in the United States than there are countries in the world right now. So, grouping together all of those diverse group of people into just one race is kind of a bit unfortunate because they have so many varied and different cultures, and I appreciate that they're largely sticking to one thing, even though, like you said, the totem poles are not accurate.
Well, now I don't know that these are actually totem poles because they're
they don't have the carved animal faces, so they might not be. But
yeah, and here's where I'm showing a lot of my absence of knowledge. Most like I said, just being very clear, I don't know a ton. What I do know, this seems like it's being very specific, which one would not expect to see in a video game, and two, I definitely would not expect to see from a Japanese take on the American West. It's very obvious to me that in some respects the developers really did their research or really looked into a lot of this stuff. But so in any case, the Beskar village here is our first town area.
It's also nice that these are like. I'm not knocking any cultures that were more nomadic or anything, but it's just nice to see a representation of Native Americans that's more of a permanent fixture with these stone buildings and everything. It shows a little bit more of like an established civilization, which you don't see too often.
Yeah, like I said, the stereotypical image you get has a lot of Sioux or Lakota, a lot of Navajo, some Algonquin, bit of Iroquois, I think. So it's just a lot of those peoples are more nomadic. So it's very interesting, like you said, to see them taking influence from a non-nomadic people.
Mm-hmm.
Are those
buildings made out of stone? It does look like that.
Yes, they are. You can even see. I'm pointing at the screen, which means nothing to you guys. You can even see that there's I don't know the word. The brick tiling at the top there.
Oh yeah.
And this looks like cracked stone facades with some wood, the poles to hold up the tarp, and the wooden doors too, of course. Let's see. Anyway, wandering around, we see that Guillotine also has the charge there. No tools for him, and that's something else that we run into. Tools tend to be character specific, so a lot of the we'll see how the game resolves that later on, but for these prologues, we're largely stuck with the specific tool functionality for, or that's dependent on each of the characters. Inventory is shared, which doesn't make sense, but we'll just roll with that. So I guess that's your strategy to why you might do them in a certain order.
Gotcha.
So you can have that right half of Arkansas's dad photo available at later times.
Go back to your house, see if they say anything else.
Oh, sure.
Wow. I know you give up easy, but I never expected you back so soon. You let me down, brother. Rude.
Oh, he has more to say.
What's the matter?
Oh, okay. I guess maybe this is an option to let me just sleep here and recover health. But
Gotcha.
We'll be moody. I can't tell you.
I say forget about leaving the village. Remember the duties we must fulfill. You've never even tried to find the Southern Sanctuary before. How do you think you'll find it?
Let's see. Just poking around. Oh, hey, nice.
Tonight we sleep here. We live here.
To be fair, from what little we've seen, that feels very much like Guillotine and Shane's sibling dynamic.
Why, if it isn't the Carradine boy? What pranks are you plotting today?
I forgot that we have actual dialogue choices here. How'd you guess?
Oh, you may have grown since the days I used to change your diapers, but you can't hide anything from me.
Hey, that's gross.
Maybe, but you haven't changed a bit. You're still crawling around looking for fun. Am I right?
Stop treating me like a kid.
That's something you gotta earn. If you were a real adult, you wouldn't get upset when people called you childish. Listen up, real adults may give up the joys of youth, but we gain the blessings of wisdom.
Okay, but now I'm kind of curious with some of those other options. Oh, I guess we don't get them.
You're next in line for the priesthood. You'd be working so much harder without your brother's help. Shane's doing all he can so that you can follow your dreams.
I guess choices matter. I cannot pick up or talk to the chicken. Let's see, let's just go raiding people's houses.
Maybe they thought, maybe like doing a Western game, one of the things that people are very vigilant about is how well the Native American representation is. So they probably, to a certain extent, wanted to be really careful that they did justice to that. So
Well,
I can appreciate that.
for sure. But it's interesting, and admittedly, I don't know a ton about 1 and 2, but I don't think there really isn't any equivalent Native American people in those games.
I see.
Honestly, one of those things that's just really that is really interesting and surprising to this game is just that they really go there.
I really don't think the Japanese in 2003 were worried about being PC. Oh, I disagree. That was such a huge... After Pocahontas, it was such a huge talking point in the media. I think that very possibly could have been something very worth looking into a bit more.
Well, I know it was a big thing in the States. I just honestly have no frame of reference to the nature, to the extent of those conversations internationally.
What does Pocahontas have to do with Japan? Well, nothing, but Pocahontas is huge, and all of Disney is huge on the international stage, so if something creates a large impact, if it's tied to Disney, then that conversation would have even reached in Japan.
Maybe. Maybe. Kelzer suggests this just seems like a very mature creator choice, which I think it might be as well. I'm
not saying that everyone would have done this, but I think that it might have been more on their mind than it otherwise would have been.
I think it's interesting looking at this the only other real comparison I have to another Japanese game from this time trying to do something like this is probably Final Fantasy VII, with Red 13's people being very coded as Native American, maybe as I always get this name wrong, the Anzu people. I think it's more I want to say it's more Native American than Anzu specifically, but I think it's done fine in Final Fantasy VII, but you also have it being a race of lions that's coded as Native American, and that's just a very specific. That's fine. I think it's different having a fantasy animal race versus having a fantasy human race, or fantasy human people.
And there's so much connection to like the earth energy and whatnot, and like I'm not saying those themes don't exist in Native American culture, but they do tend to be overplayed in media a bit.
What about FF10's Albed and their obvious Middle Eastern allegory? True. But to me, those few comparisons are the exception to Japan's nerd culture back then and still now not being particularly PC. Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, I do not claim to be an expert or anything like that. I just think this is a really interesting take, or it's really interesting to see this this take coming out of a JRPG. again, with respect to our conversation earlier about JRPGs. Let's see.
Our history as Baskars is intertwined with the history of this world. Well, you're from a priestly family, so you know all about that, right?
Huh? Give me a hint so I can remember. I think this is...
A long
yeah.
time ago, our ancestors waged a terrible war, which claimed the lives of many. Soon the blade of conflict wounded the very life of the planet, and nearly pushed it to extinction. They say the ancestors soon grew weary of war, and cursed their own stupidity. But the blade they had set in motion went on cutting down huge swaths of life. From the last survivors, a few cried out for living not on the planet, but to live with it, inside it. They believed in the power that sustains the world, and that the life of demi-humans who communicated with the planet was the way to connect with the planet's life. Okay, so they're doing this too. But their followers sought refuge from the material world and formed our village to live in nature. But look at you, what ghetto did you crawl out of? Your ancestors roll in their graves.
Rude.
The consciousness known as the Guardians protects our way of life in Baskar. No, it protects the entire world. We people of Baskar live our lives enforcing the will of the Guardians. It is our sacred duty. As you know, we fulfill our duties without question. But still, we want you to remain proud of your heritage as a descendant of a priest. Recently, we think you've lost your pride. Your medium is a materialization of the power of
Shturdark, I think.
Shturdark, the Water Guardian.
Shturdark. Okay.
Befitting its watery nature, the medium takes on whatever form its user wishes. We Baskars take great pride in the fact that we are blessed with the Guardian's powers. We know not why you turn your back on the glory, spurring nothing but insults upon Baskar tradition.
You can at least talk to the dog. Also, I'm sure folks have noticed, but looks like each NPC is named and has their own portrait.
Yeah, very cool.
Oh.
So, I see you're back visiting the altar. Wonders will never cease.
Granny! So this is where you were. I thought you'd gone off to the southern sanctuary.
Well, why is that where... Oh, wait. Yeah, why? Is that where you're headed?
No, not at all. Why would I want to go there? I was looking for you, Granny.
I see. So, what is it?
One look at your bright smile made me forget what I was gonna ask. I'll come back once I remember.
I don't know what you're plotting in the Southern Sanctuary, but remember it's also called the Fallen Sanctuary. Your half-baked skills are no match for its traps and contrivances, and don't you forget it.
Well, we will see about that. Let's see, I think we've talked to most... Okay. three things you'll need when traversing the wasteland. The strength to defend yourself, accurate information on your destination, and the search system. Press the square button when you're out in the wasteland to deploy search waves. If you have the right information about your destination, you should see the map symbol reveal itself. Once you uncover a map symbol, it stays visible as long as you retain the destination on your map. Likewise, you'll never find your destination until you discover its symbol. Search well, unless you like going in circles. So this is the one negative thing that I see lots of people complaining about, is the search system, which we will check out. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Now, okay, we're in the overworld, yay! So, towns by default will not show up on the map. Towns or dungeons or any other notable object. You instead have to wander around and periodically hit square to do that.
Okay.
So in practice, there's lots of just kind of faffing about until you get something. Like, let's see here.
Yeah, that's a bit weird, but...
The southern sanctuary lies farther south past the mountains between the sacred peaks of Zenom. There are three things you need to traverse the wastelands. The first two are logical in-universe personality traits. The last is a totally immersion-breaking game contrivance. Yep. Let's see.
Yeah,
let's see
I'm not
Guillotine.
really sure what the idea was on this. I suppose it hides secrets, but I don't... I think they could have still had this system and then just had the actual towns that you need to go to be on the map regardless, but...
Mm-hmm. So, two things to note here. One, for some reason, that Legion enemy appears in every single Wild Arms game early on. I don't quite get it. Second, Guillotine uses a sawed-off shotgun for his weapon. Three shots before he has to reload.
Okay.
See, his force ability is Extension, expand the Arcana effects to multiple targets, which is like Arkansas's Mystic, except rather than making items multi-target, it makes spells multi-target. You can see the very obvious application to that. But this is also a good time as any to say that Guillotine is our dedicated caster.
Okay.
I accidentally defended. I didn't want to do that. Luckily, we took no damage.
Always appreciate games that make the male beefy character into the caster.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty rare.
You see that by default, he actually has quite a bit of Arcana. Not enough FP to use most of it. Pressure, a water attack that crushes and suffocates the target. Refrigerate, an ice attack that instantly freezes a confined space. Heals injuries by accelerating the target's metabolism. And Analyze, scans an enemy and reveals some of its attack patterns. Let's go ahead and burn this right away. And wow. I do not remember all the elements here, but
it almost looks like a SMT kind of weakness system.
a bit, yeah. Let's see. I'm guessing that's I think SMT elements is the right way to think of it. So I think it's going to be fire, water, wind, earth, lightning, ice, light, and dark.
Don't know what that fourth one is.
I think that's fire. And it's just doesn't take any special damage from fire.
Gotcha.
So Guillotine's power is to enter the Matrix. Yeah, I don't quite get that. Anyway, let's shoot him. There we go.
Well, I mean, sometimes it just takes a very simple solution.
Yeah. Don't have to overthink it. Alright, so we'll take the advice to go past the mountains here.
Just shoot it, Fox.
Basically. I think it's around here. There we go. That's all we need to... That's the Fallen Sanctuary. That's all we needed. Alright, get ready, Arc Scepter, because here I come. I've got the power of Arcana in my medium. As long as I've got that, no ordinary monster here can stand up to me. Guillotine has invoked a medium called the Aqua Wisp. It enables certain powers called Arcana, which can be used in battle. You can only use Arcana when you have enough FP for the type of Arcana you wish to cast. Using Arcana, however, never costs FP. Okay, so I had that backwards. So spells will never cost FP, you just need to get to a certain point that you can cast them.
Okay, so the spells operate on the system, but the other things are more normal.
It looks like some force abilities will cost force points and some will not. Like Gatling burned through all our force points, but Mystic did not. I suspect it'll be similar for the name of Guillotine's dedicated one that I'm now forgetting.
Gotcha.
Fallen Sanctuary. Also, since the game mentioned it... Oh, I actually cannot check that out. Alright, don't worry about it. When facing a ledge while holding down the directional button or left analog stick, you may find yourself tottering. Press the X button to jump off the ledge. You can also just run right off the ledge without even having to press the X button. Bear with me a sec.
Very much. You see these ledges, you can jump back down on them to get as a shortcut back to Pallet Town.
Yeah, I bet. There we go. Weird porcupine thing. Or a pill bug, rather. Sure. Doesn't seem to be taking a whole lot of damage, but let's go ahead and try...
Alright, they gotta get a Wild Arms character in Smash now. They come preloaded with their own ledge teeter animations.
See, I like that line of thought. Alright, we'll cast Pressure.
Sure, it'd be confusing with the Arms brand, but that's someone else's problem. I'm surprised
Check that water.
there wasn't any character in Sony All-Stars fight thing, was there?
No, there wasn't. The logical pick would be Rudy Rough Knight, the main character of the first game, but no such luck. Although Legend of Dragoon, probably the other main notable first-party PS1 RPG, almost had its main character as a DLC character.
Gotcha.
The Water Gem, Arcana attack with water properties, consumable. So this will be a single cast or single multicast water element spell. So again, continuing with the SMT analogy, these are your attack items. Almost what happened. PlayStation All-Stars fight thing was not popular enough. They got 2 rounds of DLC. They were working on a 3rd round, which would have had Dart from Legend of Dragoon versus Abe from Abe's Odyssey, but they didn't get enough funding and they just had to scrap it. There, that'll let us get out of here. Rip. Yeah, like, I have my issues with PlayStation All-Stars fight thing, but I really would have wished it the best. Oh well.
I mean, if nothing else, Abe would have been interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he's so non-combat based.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, now let's make this. Now let's try out let's try out extension here. So I cast extension in junction with refrigerate. That'll let me target both of them. Okay, yep, extension does cost FP, so force points. So force abilities do cost force points, spells do not.
Okay.
Can't hear Junction without getting PTSD from FF8. No, it's okay. No squall will hinder us here.
That feeling when no junction GF.
Don't think I can do anything here. The monolith is decorated with runes symbolizing Turdark, the guardian of water. Whatever. The monolith is decorated with runes symbolizing Fengalon, the guardian of wind. The monolith is decorated with runes symbolizing Murgult, the symbol of fire, the guardian of fire. The monolith is decorated with runes symbolizing Grudiev, the guardian of earth. Oops. Oh. It looks like you get magic gems from casting spells of that type, so it might actually not be a bad idea to grind out random encounters a little bit just to build a stockpile of elemental attack of magic items.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, we don't want to just do that and nothing else, but option.
Whatever, Squall thought to himself but did not vocalize to the group. God, I hate Squall so much. He's the best character in Final Fantasy VIII. Which says very little. Besides, like,
Cactar, Gilgamesh.
And,
Tonberry, I guess.
I hate that I can't remember, but the guy who has the man with the machine gun as his theme.
Oh, Laguna.
Laguna, yes.
Alright. So it's come to this. Block puzzles. Face the block and press the X button to grasp it. While grasping the block, press the directional button or left analog stick in the forward direction to push it. You can pull the block backwards by pressing the directional button or left analog stick in the backward direction. Yep. Oh, okay. Let's see. There we go. I pick you first. Keelberry, nice. Freezer doll acquired. Alright. Press the square button to project ghostly beams of sub-zero frost. Its supernatural snow is so chilling it can extinguish torches in an instant. Also a Gimmel coin.
Interesting. I'm curious if that'll interact with puzzles with the other thing that we got.
There we go. So you can just shoot out an ice beam now. I don't know why it's a snowman doll, but ice beam!
Yeah, it specifically reminds me of the snowman doll from Paper Mario.
Heh. Snowman? Seriously? Yeah, I don't know.
But he's got a cute little bucket hat. I can't hate.
And the carrot nose, too. The sacred snowman. No, go ahead.
The sacred snowman, guarded for untold millennia within this sacred tower. Sure. Yeah, I can. These items, these tools seem very video gamey, but I am more concerned if they have good puzzles with them. So, whatever.
There we go. Boop. Also, let's go ahead and actually use that Gimmel coin. There we go. We will continue playing for now. I'll probably just run through the end of this scenario for tonight, but we will continue playing for now. Yeah!
You did it in the minimum number of sprays possible, because you're a cool person.
Well, you know Guillotine is disproportionately proud of himself for that one. Alright, it's time to slide a block.
We Sokobon up in this.
Now, if only you had a mirror tool, you could have done it in even fewer. If only.
Interesting thing about Sokobon, it might be one of the first examples of the term level in a video game. Because, yeah, because that's the whole premise of that game is that you're working in a warehouse. So you're working on various different floors of the warehouse, each one where your job is to arrange the boxes in the way that your boss wants them arranged, and all the floors are called levels. So originally levels meant like literal levels, as in floors,
Okay.
instead of the video game concept of levels that we know now.
Alright, level 4. Nice. Now the downside is you cannot move left or right with the block. You can only push forward or pull backward. But thankfully, we have a Z-axis. Whoop.
Refrigerate is a very funny term for an ice spell, but I guess it fits with your sacred snowman.
Oh, I'm dumb. I don't know. It sounds more dignified than Iceboxify, I guess.
Yeah. I suppose refrigerate would be a term before the invention of the refrigerator. And maybe in like the 1800s it would have a less silly context to it. But I guess they did have some kind of refrigeration with like burying it under snow and stuff. But
Alright. You ready for this? Here we go. Yeah!
you're a cool guy. Did a Matrix thing.
Sorry to keep you waiting, sweetie. Come to Papa.
Technically, that was only one press.
Sheesh. This ain't the way to treat a future priest. forgot about these guys. Kisaran Pasaran. What? Issuing warning. Let's go ahead. Oh, actually, we'll analyze, see what the gimmick is here. Why are these Mr. Pac-Man creepy pastas attacking you? They're guardians, I think. Well, they are weak to water. Okay, so we will go ahead and be sure to attack all of them with water. Issuing warning. Warning. Mission accomplished. Warning.
Mission accomplished is definitely an interesting name for an attack. I don't really get it, but
I'm thinking, I'm guessing this is one of those where it charges up with the warnings, and then when it launches a mission accomplished after stockpiling, it does a crap ton of damage.
gotcha.
Obviously, we don't want that to happen, so we will do extension pressure on all of them. Take advantage of that weakness. Dead.
I do like that you have to actually think of that yourself, though. Like how it's... Like, that's a very easy puzzle, but you still have to think through... I want to use the wide-spreading effect on this ice spell that I got.
Well, this can only mean that the Arc Scepter is mine for good. All's well that ends well. Arc Scepter acquired. Alright, now to get out of here. Let's see. A staff used to communicate with guardians. Okay. Just one of these nerds. I need 12. Oh, no, I only need 10. Yay! Out of here. Can't believe a giant boulder didn't show up when you grabbed the scepter. Ugh! Give me a break! Another trap to repel thieves, huh? Hey, open up! Who do you think I am? I'm an up-and-coming candidate for priesthood. Treat me like this and you'll be sorry. Hey, you listening?
Shh. Your cries for help will be heard outside.
Who's there?
Ah, come on, brother. Who were you crying to?
Shane! I knew I could count on you. You must have seen vile premonitions of your big brother in mortal danger, right?
Of course not. I knew you well enough that you'd mess up somewhere.
I don't like your attitude, but I'll let it slide. Look at me. I'm trapped by these walls. Got any ideas?
Golly, brother. I'm really stumped. We'd better start with what we can do now and think of a way to get you out.
Yeah. Nope. I think we are supposed to use the Arc Scepter. Guillotine focuses thoughts upon the Arc Scepter. He felt a great presence begin to speak directly into his mind. Gather your strength and leap past the barriers before you. Walls may tower above you. If you wish to penetrate them, you must first push the limits of your mind. Okay. Wait, hold on. No, wait. I guess this is here so the candidate can show he's got what it takes to be ordained.
Easier said than done. Hey, you're not helping. I'll bail you out, are you? I just can't. No matter how bad it gets, nobody can do more than they're capable of.
No, I never ask you for that. I'm thinking of something different, an efficient yet comprehensive escape plan.
Then tell me.
Dang it, called my bluff. You see, we're fortunate because we've still got each other.
Fortunate? In my case, that's not a good thing at all.
Just hear me out. We're just lowly apprentices right now. We're only halfway to getting ordained. And also, there's two of us, right? The two of us are only halfway to being real priests, right? And even though the two of us are only halfway, with both of us together, we're all the way there, right?
I don't think that's how it works.
Wait, maybe we're even farther. Through the incredible power of brotherhood, we can do anything.
There you go, trying to talk your way out of things again. But still, putting our power together might be worth a shot. I don't expect much, though.
We ain't got a choice, Shane. Come on, help me out here. We have to overcome this together.
Amazing! I never thought you'd think of something so deep.
Listen, Shane. I'm gonna be a drifter. I want to be free. I want to be a drifter, wings flapping against the winds of lineage and destiny. I'm sorry. I have to leave you to take care of Granny. So if you'll forgive me for that, I won't ask for your help anymore. Only then will I.
Brother, hush a moment. Just a little longer. Just a little more and I can help you. I must grow stronger so that you can wander freely without worrying whether I'll be okay. Because that's the only way I can help you.
Shane, thank you. And yeah, that worked somehow. It took a lot of brotherly love to get this thing. So how would an only child solve this puzzle? Well, an only child wouldn't try to raid the sanctuary on his own, probably. It took a lot of brotherly love to get this thing. And now another Arc Scepter's on its way on a train? Just doesn't make any sense. So is this the real one? Or the one on the train? Well, I guess I'm gonna have to get both to know for sure. A drifter who soared over the wasteland, liberated from all restraints. His next target, another Arc Scepter. Verifying which of the two treasures is real will determine his self-value. It may be regarded as a small sense of pride. The dangers involved are many, but it's also he can break away from his lineage and destiny. Little does he know, however, that unseen tracks already lie before him. An article obtained by desire. This can be considered a ticket to freedom. But it's a one-way ticket, and the destination is unknown. Dun dun dun.
Okay, I'm already in on this game. I really like RPGs that have separate stories for each of the characters, like Live a Live, or like Final Fantasy VI, or Dragon Quest IV, or Octopath Traveler. I need to get back to at some point, but I think it's a really good way to give narrative focus to each of the characters and make them all stand out in their own unique ways, and I'm eager to see where it's going with that. So
Now we have one last bit of business first.
okay.
So, continue playing? No.
Okay. Much better.
You get an anime closing at the end of each session.
Oh, very cool.
Well, mostly stills, but...
It's still beautiful. I like this a lot.
Mm-hmm. And as part of this, you get summaries of your playable cast as well, just where their stats are and such. So far, this is where we're at. Still in the prologue, 47 minutes of game time. Don't look too much at the timer. And a bunch of other stuff that I took too long to read. But you probably read it on your own. That will build as we play this game. So something to
Very
keep
cool.
an eye out for. We'll be running this one a little differently than we tend to run a lot of our other games. So just to account for that. So
I really like that. That's a excellent way to encapsulate the experience of playing the game. I really appreciate it. It's like a next time, here's what you'll be dealing with.
a little bit, yeah.
I like that.
It's so much of this game is just, it really presents itself as a very unique experience, really leaning into a lot of anime stylings, but in ways that you really wouldn't expect. So I'm really excited to get into this and to just sit with each of these experiences. But,
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and leave it there for now. So thank you for tuning in. Hope you had fun, and till next time.
Yeah, till next time. Bye-bye.